Hello, everybody. This is Jimmy Stevens here, back with another edition of the Rocky Mountain Live Peak Performer Series. And today I'm here with a very special guest, my first guest from Golden, BC, Oh November. How are you doing today, Emily?
Well, I'm doing just fine. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining us and popping on Rocky Mountain Live and getting your profile on the site recently. We're very excited to have you on board. Seeing you doing a lot of cool shows down with Menzies Music and releasing a new album and just being very active in the Golden scene, which is a great little music scene as they have some very cool concert series is coming up, which I'm sure will come up in our discussion today. So yeah, very excited to have you here.
Yeah, it's a good time to be in Golden for sure. There's lots going on this summer. I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. So we are Rocky Mountain Live, and I like to start out every interview with this question. How have the mountains impacted you as both a person and performer? And tell us about how you got to Golden and how long you've been there.
Uh, yeah, I kind of came to the mountains by accident. We were on a road trip, and it was just a season of life where we were looking for something new, and something in Golden just worked. Kind of a combination of things. Um, but I think the mountains for me, like what I love about being here is you always get to see the grandeur of nature everywhere you go, and humans can take over pretty much every corner of the earth. But I love living in the mountains and just being able to watch the weather systems move through the mountains, and um, yeah, it's a much different experience than being surrounded by skyscrapers. So I really am grateful for that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think we all like that. Does it? Do you find that it helps you with your artistic process?
Yeah, it's a good reminder of how small I am, which is a good reminder. I think when I get to when my ego gets inflated, or I get too worried about my small world, the mountains are a good reminder, good grounding presence for sure.
Yeah, I think we all feel that who live here in the mountains. So tell us about your project, Oh November, and why you decided on that name as your stage moniker, and just the story of Oh November up to this point.
Yeah, I had been wanting a name other than my personal name for a while. I just something that I chose, and I've I actually have a love for November in a way that many people can despise it. I think there's nothing ever going on in November. The weather can be horrible in so many different places. Where I live, that's the time where everybody leaves and goes to Mexico. Um, and so there's something I think special and sacred about uh, embracing it and noticing the little things like the edges of the river starting to freeze up, the last leaves falling. So I have a special fondness for that month. That if I'm busy, I can fail to appreciate. But if I can slow down, then there's a lot of beauty to be found, and I just yeah, it helps me remember that, I guess.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. I actually have a good appreciation for November as well. Being in these tourist towns that we tend to live in, it's always just like a nice, relaxing time when it cools down. You get to just sit inside with your friends with a nice coffee or a fireplace next to you, and yeah, there's always something calming about November to me. That's for sure. And then it picks up the craziness again in December, of course. But and by January, we're all like settled into winter. But yeah, it's like a nice chill time in the mountains, I find for sure. So your debut full album Stardust is set to release on June 22nd. Tell us all about it. So tell us about the recording process, themes found throughout the album, what you hope to accomplish with this release, anything you want us to know about Stardust here.
Yeah, I think there just came a time where I had a desire to pull a big project together, and that's a big challenge for me because I if I could choose, I would stay in the songwriting stage forever, just sitting down and getting feelings and ideas out is my favorite part. But this process was interesting because I felt like I was learning all these different skill sets and having to commit to something even when it got hard, or when I started to doubt myself. Um, and so these collections of songs, most of them have been written in the last couple of years. There's a couple older ones in there, but I'm turning 32 this year, I think. and I think I've seen a shift in my songwriting compared to early 20s angst, and I can still be quite angsty, but um, there's a bit more confidence and a bit more uh, acceptance of some of the difficulties of life. I think that I, as a younger person, thought I could escape, and so I think there's some groundedness in that shows up in the album. Just understanding that the difficulties are always going to be there, and doesn't mean I'm doing anything wrong, but learning how to navigate that and learning how to accept them over and over. Um, yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Um, yeah, I did a lot of the most of pretty much all of the process myself, from arranging, mixing, production, all that stuff. Songwriting's always been a very solo experience for me, just kind of processing, figuring out my where my head and my heart's at. That was actually really fun. As much as I wished I'd had the money to outsource a lot of the things, it was really fun to learn these different skill sets and to walk into the studio with my creative ears or my mixing ears, and be listening for different things. And uh, yeah, it gives me a whole new appreciation for other artists' music, because I hear it and I don't just hear the song or the songwriting, but I hear the production and the mixing style and all these different things. So that was a really fun part of the creative process.
Yeah, for sure. So you chose to release the album first on Bandcamp, and then a month later it will be on streaming platforms. So tell us, why did you go this route, and what are your thoughts and feelings on streaming platforms and the modern distribution of music?
Yeah, I could go on for ages about this, so I'll try and keep it brief. I went off. I stopped using Spotify and streaming this past winter, kind of as an experiment, I guess, to see how painful it would be after getting used to that style of music consumption. Um, and I've been back on it in the last month, and I've noticed a huge change in how I experience music. Um, I think when you go on there, you're expecting to be kind of bombarded with different music and new stuff, kind of like social media. And now Spotify's going to have ads in your homepage, I'm seeing. Um, and so I think that actually takes away from the experience of listening to an album. And I know that singles and playlists and stuff are all the rage these days, but I just really have a desire for people to experience the album as a whole. And I think it's really hard on a platform where there's so much going on to do that. And so um, for me, my favorite way to experience music is a CD, vinyl, or yeah, getting an album on Bandcamp and making a time where I can listen to it, maybe in the car or something, and having it be an experience. And so I just wanted to encourage that process and have it be a standalone thing and prioritize Bandcamp as a platform, because I also think it's amazing what they're doing. They make a super simple platform for artists to actually get paid for their albums. It's so straightforward. You can connect directly with the people, which I also love. You know who's listening to your music, and you can connect with them, which is amazing. Whereas Spotify, the streaming numbers can go up and they can go down, and you have no idea who's listening, who's not listening. So, yeah, just a desire to be able to connect with the audience and create a meaningful experience, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. It's always an interesting debate because streaming does allow a lot more musicians to get their music out there than what was previously available, but at the same time, they're not paying properly. And like you said, there could be a lot of empty streams in there. So a lot of apps that you can pay to get more streams will just fill it up with bots. I actually did an assignment on this in digital marketing school and looked into it a lot. And yeah, a lot of them will just fill you up with bot listens, and it'll very misleading numbers there. So yeah, I like your method. I hopefully Bandcamp can become more popular and become more of a giant than Spotify at some point. I think a lot of people do want to see that. So Yeah, it's very interesting. I think more people should take the lead on how you're releasing your album for sure. So your social media is filled with both music and family. Tell us about trying to grow as an independent artist while also being a parent, which is already a full time job. I'm sure there's difficulties to get all the tasks you'd like to do in a day done. Yeah, so there is for most of us. Not, I can't even imagine being a parent. So, do you have any advice for other parents also trying to reach their personal goals, such as releasing an album or whatever else they want to do now that you've started to reach your own?
Yeah, it's I think as a parent you have to get way better at time management because you might have a sudden hour that you weren't expecting, and that could be wasted, scrolling social media or whatever so fast, but then you're so angry at yourself that you didn't take advantage of it. So I think um just being able to take any opportunity I have of free time to put towards those creative pursuits, and it fills me with energy and makes me a better parent. So I think I've put so much more into music since becoming a parent because I realized that like that is where I fill my own cup. That's where I get inspired and get excited, and that means I can return home excited and inspired to my kids. And if I'm not being creative, then I'm grumpy and irritable, and I don't want to pass that on to them. And it shows up pretty quickly. So I think it's as hard as it is to find the time. It's so crucial to being able to parent well and connect with my kids.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I admire any parent, especially the ones who go out and chase their own dreams at the same time. So good on you for doing that. That's very impressive on you. And whether you're a parent or not, most people need to get some help along the way, especially from their local community and the community they build in, especially in music. Rocky Mount Live, I marketed to musicians as that we were building a music community. We're happy to have you. So, especially in Golden and even around the Kootenays, who are some of the local musicians, venues, or businesses that have had the biggest impact on your own career growth to this point?
Yeah, Menzies Music. When I first showed up in Golden, I hadn't really presented myself as a musician back in Ontario where I grew up. And so, yeah, Todd took me under his wing, taught me a lot of things about the music industry that I wouldn't have known, helped me get a couple songs out there and some shows. So that was really amazing. The Golden Skybridge actually has been awesome. They have a ton of live music every summer, and that's just been a great place for me to kind of cut my teeth on performing. And it's a super chill environment. So I've really enjoyed going back there.
Yeah, right on. Menzies Music does a lot of really great things around Golden. They're very active. I think he's even doing some stuff in Whistler actually this year as well, I believe. So yeah, it's very cool to see Menzies growing. They have a great lineup for the Golden Sky Bridge. We have it all on the website already, and you're on that show. You're on the first one, correct?
Yeah, June 21st, I'll be opening for Sarah Burton.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and the Shred Kelly, Moon Tricks, Moses Mays reunion. Like, there's just like such a great lineup. Mr. Bird from Canmore is heading down there. Yeah, it's just a great lineup that they put together. So very stoked to see that there and that you're part of it. So we are Rocky Mountain Live, and this is one of the other questions I ask all our guests. What do you love most about performing live music?
Uh, oh man, it's an amazing opportunity to create something with an audience. It's like there's something unique in every performance and every audience that you have the potential. So if you can put yourself out there and put your best performance on, it's so fun, the connections you can build, and you take a song that you've played a certain way on your own, and all of a sudden you play it live and it has a totally different feel. So um, that's a really fun experience to just kind of improvise and have fun with it.
Right on. Yeah, that's one of my favorite questions. We always get a good answer from everybody on that. So, oh November, you're releasing your first album now. Say everything goes right for you. One of the songs becomes a little hit. You start to get some mainstream attention. Who are some of the top musicians or bands that you dream of sharing the stage with one day? Maybe as an opener on their tour, or maybe as a co-headliner someday.
My top one for sure would be Leif Vollebeck. He's a Canadian artist. I just saw him live in Calgary in the winter, actually. Yeah, yeah, amazing guy. And lately, I've been listening to a lot of Joy Williams. Um, that would also be really awesome.
Right on. What about some of the musicians or the music that you grew up listening to that really inspired the Oh November style?
Good question. I mean, I've always my songs I would describe as simple in that yeah, they're pretty simple progressions and an arrangement, and so uh, people like Bob Dylan, where there's a message that wants to be said, and the music behind it is simple and straightforward. I appreciate that.
All right, so you are based in Golden, and we're starting to get a foothold on Rocky Mountain Live all across the Rockies, especially in the East Kootenays. So, who are some of the musicians in the Golden scene and the Kootenays scene that you want to give shout outs to for their work in the area and maybe get involved with Rocky Mountain Live, maybe hop on an interview with us someday?
Yeah, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk with Nathan Turner, but he's been doing lots of awesome stuff, putting out some new music. Great folk artist in Golden or Parson, which yeah. Um, my friend Chelsea Ow, I perform with her a lot. She's another amazing artist. Just did some recording, so hopefully we'll get some new music coming out from her soon. Um, yeah. Oh,
Right
I
on. Oh,
one more. I almost forgot. I just saw the Doggone Brothers band. They were amazing. They've got members scattered all throughout the mountains, but yeah, so good, so good.
yeah, they're great. They just released an album as well, I believe, on that tour. Yeah, they were touring all over the Rockies and beyond. Yeah, they're a really great little band. So yeah, you're part of a great music series now. You got your first full album coming out. What's the next goals for Ovo November to reach after the release of this album in the summer series?
Yeah, I think just I made an album. I want to get it out there and just connecting with people and getting getting lots of people to hear it and hear what people think of it. Um, and then I look forward to crawling back into my songwriting hole in the winter. But yeah, trying to use the summer to get out there and perform lots and yeah, connect with other artists, all that fun stuff.
Right on. Well, thanks for your time today. You've recently joined Rocky Mountain Live, and I ask everybody this. We were brand new, so we're only 4 months old, and we're stoked that anybody who joins the website and gets their profile up there. You have a great little bio. I really enjoyed reading it when you got it up there. And so, why do you think Rocky Mountain Live is an important project, and other bands, musicians, venues, or any music resource business should participate by creating their own profile and engaging with us?
Oh man, I mean, community is more important now than ever. So I think linking people up and being a musician, having a network of other people and businesses and venues and stuff. It's all been such a confusing process for me. But the best thing is to be able to connect with other people and reach out. And so having a cohesive hub where that can happen is amazing.
Yeah, right on. So yeah, we're trying to connect all the communities. So that's the biggest difficulty I have is like I'm based in Canmore here, but just reaching out to Golden, to Cranbrook, to Jasper, trying to bring everything together. And it's starting to come together now. So really stoked to have you on board. Hopefully we can help introduce you to the other communities around the Rocky Mountains and get some more shows going on. Yeah, it's really great to have you here today. Is there anything else you want to let people know about? So what are your social handles, a website, upcoming concerts, anything else you want to tell the people about?
Yeah, you can. I'm most active on Instagram, so you can find me at It's O November. Um, and yeah, the album will be up June 22nd on Bandcamp. So just look up O November on Bandcamp, and yeah, that's pretty much the two best ways. I'll be at Radium Brewing June 28th for a show, and yeah, any show details I'll have up on my Instagram for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Can't wait to hear the full album. Hope everybody else hops on Bandcamp and helps you make that album successful. And I hope that we see you doing more shows across the Rockies in the months and years to come.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Jimmy.